You know, I just gave myself a massive concussion from smacking myself upside the head as I realized that I forgot to check the box that had the mouse showing.
Oh, poor baby.
So this whole tutorial, I was recording telling you to click over here. Doing all this fancy mouse juggling. Mosey on over here, I was saying, swirling my mouse over to the corner. And I didn't have the mouse visible.
Poor baby.
Damn, I'm dumb. Heisenberg will never marry me now. Alright, well, now that the mouse is back, let's open up Blender and go to fixing that hair, eh? We gotta keep her happy.
Poor baby.
Gotta be happy. Alright, we got the husband here now.
Hello.
So you may hear some chewing or whatever in the background because I'm killing him with a tasty meal.
Yeah.
Asian fusion food.
Oh, yes.
General Tso's chicken with a side of macaroni and cheese.
Gonna die.
And wait for all this to load up. I don't know why everything is taking so long to load today. Oh, it could be because I have Vroid open. Get out of here, Vroid, you resource sucker. And Ninja Ripper open. Strictly for non-stuff. Alright, so now we're here. And where did this come from? Just pop right up. Ignore my gigantic bosoms. Okay, so now we're here inside of Blender. I forgot what this was. It blew my mind. Okay, so now we're here inside of Blender. And we are going to bring in our hair and all the rest of the stuff. I suggest you bring the hair in first because you have the skeleton and with cats. And when you try to import something in with cats, it loads it all on the first layer. So you got to just sort bodies and skeletons and junk, and I hate it. So I always say bring in cats first, then the skeleton. So I'm going to move over here to the second layer because the first layer is reserved for Second Life. And then we're going to go to our side panel, and of course yours won't be like mine, crowded with every plugin and known to man. And you're going to scroll on down until you find cats. Cats. Where the hell is cats? Oh, there it is, right here, cats. So I'm going to turn on our screencast because, I keep forgetting. All right, screencast and then cats. And then you're going to select this big old button right here that says import model. Can't miss it. Right there. Push it. And then we're going to navigate to the folder where we save our hair. So that would be on my desktop, hair class, and then it's going to be Vroid VRM, or whatever you name it, .vrm. And then you can bring it in. Give it a second. Sometimes it takes a minute, and even more so with me because I'm recording. Suddenly it just wasn't. I know you listening to your stuff, but is there
Is it too loud?
I don't know, I just hear buzzing over in the background. You know how this is. It's just a small snippet of something that's going to flow through, and then they're like, copyright strike.
How about now?
No, you're good.
Good.
Groovy. Thank you. Alright, so we have our body and our hair in, and you could actually leave it like this if you wanted to make an avatar, but we don't need the avatar. We need is just the hair. So select the hair, the body, press delete, okay, select the skeleton, delete, okay, head, delete, okay, and now we have the sweet, sweet hair. I keep going like the sweet moon sugar. Alright, we're going to move everything over to layer 2 where it belongs. So now we have layer 2 has our hair, and we're going to press a sweet little combination called Shift, Control, Alt, and then C, and then origin to geometry, and this will snap it up here and make it easier for us to scale like this, rather before when we try to scale it be up and down like that. So that's no good. So we want to press Shift, Control, Alt, C, and then origin to geometry so that stuff can scale properly. So now we got that all prepped. We just need to shimmy on over to the first layer and import our second life skeleton. If you have Avastar installed, that's super excellent. All you have to do is just press Shift A and then Avastar and then basic. You don't need an extended skeleton for this. We're not bentoing anything. No bento hair here right now. This is just the basic hair. So a basic skeleton. When you bring it in, it's going to have the green animation bones enabled. So we need to get to the rigging. So go to your Avastar tab, wherever that is. Come on, Avastar. It's been that long. There we go. Then you go to settings, experimental, and then skin and weight. So now we have the skeleton that we need, which in this case is just a simple classic skeleton. Wink. Following along? Alright, so now that we have that done, we just need to activate the two layers, the hair layer and the body layer. And to do that, we just press and hold shift and select the second layer. And you see our hair is in here. Select the hair and scoot it up on the head. So you see it pretty much just fits, besides having the... Oh, no. It fits. It fits. Nice. Normally, I think it's because I'm using a regular size head and not my gigantic head. I'm not talking about the blatant head, just my normal regular human head. I have a really big head. And it... That's how people get decked, baby. You're supposed to be, no, baby. You have a normal size head.
No,
Get
no.
out of here. Eat your macaroni. Anyway, so since this is a normal size head, it fits. But if we need to tailor it, having all this white makes it a little difficult to see. So we're going to enable the texture so that we can see how things go. Now, we usually do that by going up to the top of our screen and changing it from an arrow to a crosshair. Click and then drag it over, and then go down and switch it from 3D mode to UV imager. So we're going to come back over to our 3D window and select the hair. We want to press tab and go into edit mode. Then we are going to go inside of our UV layer and select from this cache of already imported textures and type in hair, and it will be already in here. So now that we have the layer here, we don't see it. It's still the same, right? Right. So all we have to do to fix that is just press textured solid, and you'll see that our texture will come in and it'll be just like it was inside of Vroid. Neat, yeah? Alright, so I know this is a little ugly face. Ruth isn't the prettiest girl on the block. I'm going to edit this a little bit just so I can see it. I just want to put a texture here. We could just leave this part alone. You can actually skip this if you want. It's just for my crazy aesthetic. I have to see a textured face. Convert to custom. So you just select it and then press fitting and then select the custom. Convert to custom. Then when we select the head and the face, we can just import our texture. Now I'm not using that ugly lady that came with this. I'm using my pretty skin that I like. If I can find that skin. There we go. And now we have my face. Now she's not as ugly. And I don't want to edit it too much because I don't want to throw the shape off, because that would defeat the purpose of it fitting, a good chunk of the neutral head. But Jesus, these lips. There we go. Now it's not so bad. It's ugly, but it's not as ugly as it just was. At least I don't think so. Alright, so we got all that fun stuff done. It's time to rig. Oh, see, look, it was clipping in the back. See, we got scalp coming through. Now we can go to the fun part of editing it. So when it's something minor like this, we can just grab it, go into edit mode, select our proportional editing, and then press enable, or you can just press O on your keyboard and that'll turn it on. And I want to click and I want to scroll the mouse wheel in so that it's showing me the field of influence, because I don't want to have it wide and then when I go to stretch it, it stretches the whole head backwards. We want a nice small circle around the affected area and then slowly pull it out until it looks nice. Alright, it's still more hair showing. More scalp. We don't want any scalp showing. We want there to be hair. Now the good thing about making symmetrical hair is that you can actually just pull it all out on one side and then use blender magic and press symmetry and then make it all symmetrical on one side, like totally symmetrical. I think that's because I put the kitchen in deep into the scalp, but no, that's scalp. Alright, let's see. Pull this out, pull this out. We don't want to see that. I wonder if... Oh no, we don't want to do that either. Alright, just keep on clicking. Just keep clicking and pull it out just a little bit. Alright, let's scan around. We don't see no gaps, right? Some gaps right here. Alright. Now, there are a couple things you can do at this point. You can leave the bottom of the hair flared out like this. Actually, yes, leave the bottom of the hair flared out like this. Don't do what I was about to tell you to do. We're going to focus on the top of the head. Now, it may look like it's nice and pretty up there, but I wonder how if we can use white. Just flip it. So I'm going to here and press RZ -90 again. You can see that it's a little bit of a mess up top. Now I'm going to press 5 on my keyboard so I can get a really good zoom in there without it going through my scalp. And you can see where all those strands we made are connected here. And that's not pretty. Second Life does not... people do not tolerate strands like this and coming from your hair. So what we need to do is, I kept saying, sew it together, which is basically selecting the middle point of the hair with your vertex select down here selected. Select the middle point of your hair. Press the S key, and you see your field of influence going. You also want to make sure that the soft editing or proportional editing is enabled. So, vertical select. Is it vertical? Vertex. Sorry. Vertex select. Proportional editing. Normal. Just enable. Select the dot in the center of your dome. Press the S key and scale it in. Make it nice and tight in the middle. And you see, now it's all closed up and it's coming at the top of your head. Right. Now you want to make sure that you don't have a pyramid up there, because just like I said, when you're sewing in a weave, any kind of spike or dome on top of your head is proof that you got a weave. So you want this to be nice and flat, a nice smooth curve here. And then you have your hair. Now it does look a little flat, just a little bit. So we can make all the kinds of modifications that we want. Again, if your hair is symmetrical, you can just edit one side until you think it looks good and then do the flip there. I found that this sort of flat look right here tends to happen when we do the sewing part at the top of the hair. So you could just, when it's like this, select the top of your head and then press S and then scale it out or a bit, or pull it up or so like that, and then give yourself some extra head space here. Now it doesn't mess with your textures because they're all fused together, but then you got to make sure that you don't end up with a head that looks like a head. Wink. And you want it to look like, you know, hair. It's a good idea to have references of hair when you're making hair. That way you know how it looks from the front and the sides and even the back, and you know that you're doing it right. Playing it off eye like I'm doing right now can lead to sometimes unfortunate creations. But really it's all up to your artistic eye. No one can tell you that it's wrong except for you. That's something that you need to realize. Unless you got a judgmental husband who keep looking at it and saying, I can see your scalp, it's ugly. Throw it in the trash. Then you get annoyed and then you change it. But other than that, nobody can tell you it's wrong but you. So I like to pull it out a little bit, make it all flared and pretty. Now, the symmetrical thing I was talking about, actually I'm just going to give this a sort of a pull just for dramatic effect. Alright, so we have it pulled out on one side, not pulled out on the other side. If we wanted to make this symmetrical, we can just go into tab and go into edit mode, press A and select everything. Then come on down to where it says mesh on your toolbar and then say summarize, and then bada boom, you got your hair perfectly symmetrical, which is a double-edged sword. Sometimes it works, sometimes it fuses together and doesn't look quite right. You can keep playing around with it. This is like the best part of making hair, is playing around with it and making the best hair that you think you can. I always have a problem with my bangs, so I always shrink the middle down like I did with the other ones, like this, and give me that nice tight, tiny, pointy bang. And then what I also like to do is like to click on it and press R, and then press R and rotate it forward. You can actually curl your hair if you want to. We did this during a live stream, and I accidentally gave myself a pompadour. And everybody was like, that pomp, when are you going to put that out? And I'm like, never. The pomp is mine. So you can actually curl and manipulate your hair any way you want to make it look the way you want. Just make sure that you think it looks nice in the front and the back. Honestly, I don't think this looks nice in the front. I'm just going to pull it out some more. And, hope for the best. Now, you can actually, do the flippy thingy, mesh this, and summary again. There we go. That looks a lot better than what we had. It reminds me of the girl from the Yeah Yeahs, Karen O, I think her name is. I like her. I like that hairstyle, which is probably why I keep making it. Alright, I'm going to pull the kitchen down and tighten the back too. Then, I'm going to show you a nice trick. Let's say I want this line of hair to flare out. So instead of clicking across all of these and then trying to flare out that, we can use the knife tool and slice right across it like this. And then press enter. And with that selected, we can blow it out. So the cool thing about hair is that you don't have to worry about it like clothes, where topology is such an important thing or whatever, because rigging and whatnot. When it comes to hair, you only got like a few bones you got to use, so everything tends to work. I thought I could make that prettier, but I guess it is what it is. Some scalp is showing through. I don't think I put enough spikes here. Now let's say you got that issue I just said where I didn't put enough spikes or strands here, and I try to move it with the edit tool that's moving everything. You can actually move it by selecting the connected in the proportional edit, and you can slide and move individual strands like that and make fine movements inside there. Cool, huh? Alright, I know it's no clipping, but it's clipping a little bit, but then it's fine. Maybe I should pull my side locks down. See, this is what the joy of creation is, isn't it? You start out with one thing and you got a plan, and then you completely mess it up and make hair that you didn't even plan on making. Is that the sorceress? I'm making the sorceress hair. She's channeling herself through me. If you don't know who the sorceress is, just look up the He-Man. Yeah, He-Man, the sorceress. I'm making her hair. Oh, snap. I just bought her pop. So maybe I'm like subconsciously looking at her and mimicking it while I'm working on this. I'm gonna put that back then. I want to do that like for real. Or do I? Let's try rotating it again. Again, symmetry. So I can just do it on one side. Oops. Oh, so I got no eyes because I thought I was turning it. I just tilted them inward. Stop watching me wreck this hair, y'all. Look away. Come back when it's done. This hair is like, it was a pretty thing, and now here I am ruining the whole thing. Oh, what if we push it forward? Baby, can you see if the cats knock the fan out? It's way too hot to have Doritos in here.
Yeah, it's not on right now. Let me go look.
Thanks. Thanks.
Too much apple water. Ooh.
Please die a little quieter. I'm trying to teach people how to do hair. It's always a joy when a husband comes in and do the tutorials with me, isn't it? I love it. Alright.
Right now, baby. There you go.
Thanks. Alright, can you turn it down just a little bit so it's not as loud? There we go. Now I can breathe and y'all can hear
Big
me.
feet hit the power switch, power strip.
Those cats. Alright, so there's my hair. Here it is. Edit, modified, done up right. Or is it? Because there's always room to squeeze. No, no. Whoa! How does it look when it's expanded like this? Oh, bad. Terrible. Wait. What about if I pull it out some more, like this? And then curl up that kitchen a little bit. Like this. So much for a nice planned structured tutorial, huh? But I guess that's how hair is done anyway. Like in real life, you go in there with a hairstyle in mind. You want to look like the major, and you come out with a bob. I'll never forget that. Alright, so it seems like this side is prettier than the other. So when we go to flip it, to make it all symmetrical, we can choose which side we want from this operator menu. So, like that now. Yeah, I like it. Now I wonder if the bangs are too low. I was like, come on, Zero, leave it alone. It's fine. Well, is it fine? Is it? Okay, one of the traps you need to realize when working on the hair is to make sure that your hair is not too far away from your scalp, your forehead. Sometimes it's okay to have a little bit of a bang, a bump here, but other times you don't want to pull it where it's so far off your face. When you look up at you, all you see is your full head and not your forehead. So hair making is fun. It never goes the way you want it. Unless you got one of those things, references and stuff, then it usually goes the way you want it. This is why I said at some point, I think it was in this tutorial, or was it the reset one? Regardless, never go into tutorial hair making without a set plan and or reference. You'll end up like this, making God knows what this is. Maybe I should pull it down after all. I look like a little bird person. Whoops. Okay, there we go. We have hair. We have some kind of hair. We have anime hair. Now, when you make the hair, it won't look like this. It'll be better than this. Because I don't know what happened with this. Okay, so we have our hair, we have our style, and we need to remove the old bones from it. And you do that by going into the modifier tab and selecting the armature modifier, which is already in here, and then you assign it to the Avastar one. Then with that selected, we are going to rig it. Now, first thing you want to do is work from the bottom up. I think that's my go-to, is bottom up. So first you select the hair, then you go into weight paint mode, and then you see where it is. Like, we don't ever want to rig to the... No, I can't say that. This is a short hair. So you need the head controller and you need an anchor for it to go to. I usually use the chest for hair as the anchor, but sometimes we could use the neck. I don't ever really use the neck unless it's short hair that's on the back of my neck. But this one's weird. I'm not sure where it would go. Alright, let's just try it out and then we'll see where we go. So let's, for creation's sake, say we use the neck as the anchor. We're going to select the hair and then select the neck, and we're already in weight paint mode. Then we're going to go into tools and scroll down and, well, we're going to go up to the top and make it 50. So 0.5. Right in the middle. Not too hot, not too cold, perfectly warm. And we're going to take the head, the neck bone, and we are going to fling it forward. Just bury yourself into your chest, just like that. Then we're going to take the weight gradient tool, and we're going to slowly raise it up, the head. I said let's pull the whole thing up like that. So now this hair moves wherever the neck moves. And if we were to move the head would fall out of the hair like that. So we need to give it control, the head bone control. So let's take the head and pull her back like this. Then we're going to take the weight gradient again and roll it down the head. Like that. As you see, we got some conflicting issues here where the hair is shrinking whenever we move the head. This is because the weights are being, the hair is being controlled both by the neck and by, the neck and the head. So we got to fix this competition here and reduce the power the neck has over the head. So you're going to select your head bone and then double click and turn it to the left. Or the left. There we go. Alright, so we have our head turned to the left, and we're going to select our neck, and then we're going to turn off the power down to Z and make it ice cold. Select weight gradient and then scroll it down until the hair is lined up with the neck. The hair is lined up with the head. So now when we turn our head, you see the hair does this sort of moving twist thing, which is fine because, whatever. Now we have the head, and we're going to see why it's collapsing like this. Same reason. I think there might be head weights on the bottom of it. So we're going to turn our head again like this, and then with 0 still selected, we're just going to go weight painting and then roll it up the head until it looks right to you, how you want it to be. So it doesn't quite look right, actually. But with dramatic hair like this, which is probably the wrong thing I should have started you guys off with, I think more head weight is better. So let's turn it up to the max and then go down. Yeah, maximum head weight. And I think this looks a lot better with those going. So really, it's up to you.
Sorry, I'm thinking about your mama jokes. Your mama got maximum height weight. Whoa.
I feel like a quote from the Big Bang Theory is appropriate here. I have no disillusions about my mom. I know she has a big head. That's where I got my big head from. Coming from a long line of big-headed broads. And we select head. Turn us down, the neck, and then clean us up a bit. No neck hair, please. Thank you. Oh, wait. I messed up again. I'm trying to cool the neck weight on the head here so that it doesn't deform the hair in the spot. And there's always like one strand that's doing it. So I'm trying my best not to just make a continuous click here, but slowly click it. There we go. And make sure that the textures are straight, because that can mess up everything. So no neck weight up here on the cranium, please. But it still has hair where it's not shooting through. Alright, I hope that helped. Once you master the hard stuff, the easy ones are a breeze. Okay, so we have our hair done. Now this is the fun part. We have to duplicate this hair. When you are working with Second Life, there are two, well, okay. When you're working with Second Life, it usually works on a two-part system. A solid hair and alpha hair on top. That's the old school way, and that's what I see a lot of people doing these days. Some people will strategically place a light alpha strand here amongst a bunch of solids, but I like the duplicate on top because it gives you that control, especially with the look I like to go for, and then have the softness on top with the alpha strands. I'll show you what I mean and you get to decide. So what I'm going to do, which I just did real quick without explaining, is select the hair, and you want to do this after you rig, that way you don't have to rig two hairs twice. Okay, so after you rig, you're going to press shift and then D, so you got to dupe. And if you want, you can move this duplicate to the third layer, that way you know which one is which. Hold down shift and select the dupe. Okay, so we got the dupe, the dupe, and we're going to press S and make it slightly larger than the base. Just hovering it here and having it in the center makes it a lot easier. So we have the dupe and we have the base and we have this. Now this is why I said you have to make sure your hair is low poly, because when you have two copies of the same hair on there, that means whatever you have, where did this head come from? Get out of here. Alright, when you have two of these on top, it makes it a little bit heavy, but we're going to address that too. So I'm going to take a copy of our hair, our base, and our dupe, and then press shift D and dupe it again, and then move this one to a different layer, in this case layer 4. And this is going to be our decimated couple. Now one thing that I would really like for you to do is select the top layer, the duplicated layer, and then go to the materials and then remove all the groups. Then create one on top of it. This will help us later on when we try to add our, like we can have the base here and then be able to, what's the word? We have our base and we can change the different textures or so with this base layer and make good hair. But the top layer is just going to be a copy of the texture that you use on the bottom layer, so it makes no sense to have like 3 more materials to try to attach a thing to. I mean, there are some perks to leaving that, because some places may not look right and you may want to make those alpha or alpha blending in there. So it really is up to you. In my case, I don't want to do it, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to join these two together real quick, and as you see, combined together, they're at 47K, which is usually about the going rate for Second Life hair, but we're going to try to be a little more responsible, and we're going to start to decimate the hair a bit so that it works. So you just decimate it, and I think half works with Second Life, but keep your eye on your textures. So like, you don't want to decimate it all the way down to where it's like this, because kind of cute, but no, bad hair. Okay. Usually about half is where I like to take it. You could take it down some more if you want to, but I'm just gonna save it like that. But now we're gonna have this one that's pretty big and awesome. Alright, I got this here, and let's see if Second Life lets us import it, because sometimes it likes to be all righteous and say, hey, you made a big item, blah blah blah, you can't import it, blah blah blah, and then you gotta come back in here and decimate a little bit, blah 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 blah. So that. Alright, so we're gonna go to our project folder, hair class 1, and then hit export. Alright, so in our next video, we'll put this wig on and see how she looks. The moment of truth in the next video.